You will not believe what just happened. Andre allegedly asked Elizabeth for a divorce, and the shockwaves are still rippling through everyone who thought their marriage was unbreakable. One moment, they were smiling in family photos, posting the perfect couple content online, sharing happy moments with their kids, and the next, everything changed. How does a couple that seems so perfect reach a point where divorce is even whispered? That is the question everyone is asking right now. Hey everyone, it's Lily here. Welcome back to Reality Drama Files. If you love getting the inside scoop on the messiest, juiciest, and most emotional 90-day fiancé moments, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment letting me know your thoughts on this shocking development. Could this marriage survive the ultimate betrayal? Could years of shared memories, struggles with culture clashes, and all the family drama really be undone in a single moment? And if so, what does it say about the hidden tensions we never see on camera? From the outside, Elizabeth and Andre always seemed like the couple who could handle anything. The couple who stood strong while family drama, cultural differences, and social media pressure swirled around them. But insiders are hinting at emotional walls that were quietly crumbling long before this divorce bomb dropped. Andre's frustrations, the weight of being constantly scrutinized, the pressure to be the perfect husband and father, all of it allegedly boiled over in a way Elizabeth never saw coming. And here's the part that really gets me. Just when you think you know someone, just when you think a relationship has survived everything, life throws a curveball that no one saw coming. Could this be the beginning of the end for one of 90 Day Fiancé's most talked about couples? Or is there a way back from this emotional cliff? Stay with me, because the layers behind this moment are far deeper than Instagram posts and happy family videos, and the fallout is only starting to reveal itself. Before we jump into today's shocking events, let's rewind a little. Over the past few episodes, Elizabeth and Andre have been showing us what looked like a fairy tale marriage. From coordinated couple outfits to endless family selfies, their Instagram feed screamed perfect life. Every post, every story, every smile was curated to show a couple who had it all together, handling cultural differences, parenting challenges, and even the occasional family tension with grace. But as fans of Reality Drama Files know, social media doesn't tell the full story. Behind the scenes, the picture isn't quite so polished. Andre's immigrant struggles, navigating cultural expectations from his family, and trying to balance his personal identity with being a supportive husband have been simmering quietly. Meanwhile, Elizabeth, juggling public appearances, her own career moves, and the pressure to always be the smiling, supportive partner, was starting to notice subtle shifts. You might remember a few episodes back, when Andre seemed distant during family dinners. Nothing dramatic, just a quiet glance, a pause too long before replying, and small sighs that didn't match the happy couple persona. Or the time Elizabeth posted a heartfelt message about their marriage, only for Andre to respond with a curt comment, leaving fans scratching their heads. On the surface, nothing seemed wrong, but for anyone paying attention, the cracks were starting to show. Their life looked flawless online, but private moments told a different story. Andre allegedly withdrawing emotionally, skipping late-night conversations, and avoiding certain topics hinted at stress no one was really seeing. And Elizabeth? She was still fully immersed in the perfect couple routine, unaware that the person sitting across from her at the dinner table was quietly wrestling with doubts she didn't even know existed. Here's where it gets interesting. Small signs, unnoticed by casual fans, were adding up. A delayed text, a fleeting look of frustration, minor conflicts that didn't escalate but left a lingering tension. All little breadcrumbs leading to this explosive moment. It's as if the perfect Instagram couple was quietly unraveling, and no one had noticed the warning signs until it was almost too late. And just when you think things are settling into the normal ebb and flow of marriage, the tension is about to surface in ways that will shock both Elizabeth and the viewers. Andre's subtle withdrawal isn't random. It's part of a bigger emotional pattern that's been building, layer by layer. A sigh here, a silence there, a conversation avoided. It all points to one thing: the calm before the storm. Stick around, because the next episodes aren't just about arguments or drama. They're about hidden emotions, unspoken pressures, and the kind of tension that makes you question everything you thought you knew about this couple. Andre's behavior over the past few weeks has been hard to miss if you're paying attention. On camera, he still smiles when the cameras roll, jokes with the kids, and nods politely during family events. But behind closed doors, there's a different story. Andre has been quietly struggling with the weight of immigration pressures, the expectations of his family, and the sense that he has to somehow balance two worlds at once. It's the kind of stress that doesn't make headlines, but quietly eats away at someone day by day. Lately, his late nights have become more frequent. Sometimes he's supposedly working, other times he's just sitting alone, scrolling through his phone or staring at the wall. His irritability is creeping into small moments, interrupting conversations, brushing off casual jokes, snapping at minor inconveniences. At first, it's subtle, almost imperceptible. But to Elizabeth, the pattern is starting to emerge. She notices the tension, the slight hesitation in his tone, the distant eyes when she tries to connect. It's like he's physically present, but emotionally elsewhere. And that's where the real drama is brewing. You can see it in the way he avoids certain topics. Conversations about family trips, future plans, even casual weekend schedules suddenly feel heavy. Andre laughs when he has to, agrees when pressed, but there's a guardedness now. It's as if he's building a wall, brick by brick, between himself and Elizabeth. And the irony? The more Elizabeth tries to bridge that gap, the more he seems to pull back. Fans following this on social media might have noticed cryptic posts, or moments where Andre seems off during live streams or interviews. Some think he's just tired, or maybe overworked. But if you've been following their story, you know it runs deeper. Every late-night sigh, every fleeting glance away, every unfinished sentence is a breadcrumb hinting at a storm that's been quietly gathering. Elizabeth senses that something is off, but she has no idea how close she is to the tipping point. And it's not just isolation. Andre is wrestling internally with loyalty to his family, fear of judgment, and a sense that he might be failing in a life he once believed he could manage. These pressures are compounded by cultural expectations, both his own and his family's, that marriage is supposed to be enduring, that personal doubts should be quietly endured, and that showing vulnerability is a sign of weakness. But hiding those feelings comes at a cost. And that cost is starting to show in every interaction with Elizabeth. Just when you think you can predict his next move, he pulls back even further. Elizabeth notices the change, questions small things, and attempts to connect. But Andre keeps skirting the real issues. Every avoided conversation, every half answer adds tension. The household feels quieter, the smiles are smaller, and even the kids start noticing the subtle shifts. There's a slow but unmistakable shift from playful normalcy to underlying strain, and it's gripping for viewers who have watched this seemingly perfect couple navigate life together. And then comes the moment everyone's been waiting for. Andre finally agrees to sit down at the dining table with Elizabeth. The atmosphere is tense, filled with unspoken words and the weight of weeks of bottled-up emotion. Both know that whatever is about to happen will change things, but neither can predict just how. Elizabeth's world is about to shatter, and for viewers, the anticipation is almost unbearable. But what exactly Andre says first will leave everyone frozen. The tension in the room is almost tangible as Andre sits across from Elizabeth at the dining table. Everything looks normal at first glance. The table is set, the kids are away, the lighting soft. But the air is thick with unspoken words. Then it happens. Andre allegedly drops the bomb. He wants a divorce. Just like that. The words hang in the room, echoing louder than any argument ever could. Elizabeth freezes. Her fork hovers mid-air, her eyes widen, and for a moment, it's as if time itself has stopped. The shock is immediate and raw. Tears well up before she even has a chance to process what she's hearing. Her voice shakes as she tries to respond, questions spilling out faster than she can form them. Why? When? How could you think this? Every syllable is laced with disbelief and hurt. It's a reaction that's impossible to fake and utterly relatable, because anyone who's ever been blindsided by someone they trusted knows that paralyzing, stomach-dropping feeling. Meanwhile, Andre sits quietly, almost stoically, as if bracing for the fallout. There's tension in his posture, a subtle reminder that this confession didn't come out of nowhere. Weeks of emotional withdrawal, late nights, and minor irritations all lead to this crescendo. Publicly, they've always seemed like the couple who could weather anything, sharing smiles for Instagram and family photos. Privately, the reality is far more fragile. That gap between how they appear and what's actually happening adds a weight that only intensifies Elizabeth's pain. Watching this unfold, you can't help but notice the clash between social expectation and personal reality. Divorce is rarely just a private decision. It carries judgment, cultural expectations, and whispered opinions. Elizabeth feels all of that pressure in one moment. The confusion of betrayal, the fear of shame, and the grief of a marriage she thought was stable. And yet, there's no time to wallow. The conversation is unfolding in real time, raw and unscripted, and every second counts. And here's where it gets layered. Elizabeth's tears are matched by subtle behaviors, questions asked, small gestures of connection, reaching out despite the shock. Andre's responses are measured but tense, revealing a man who is struggling internally with decisions he didn't arrive at lightly. He's not the villain here. He's a person under immense pressure, trying to reconcile feelings of loyalty, identity, and fear. This is where reality TV drama gets complicated, and why audiences can't stop watching. The room is quiet for a beat, but the tension is far from over. Will they discuss it further, hashing out every hidden resentment and unspoken fear? Will they attempt to salvage the marriage? Or is this the first step toward permanent separation? The camera captures every subtle flicker of emotion, every hesitation, and every unspoken word. For viewers, the anticipation is almost unbearable, because the next moments will either deepen the rift or start the slow process of healing. And even after the confession, the story is far from over. Andre's internal struggles, the pressure, the cultural expectations, and the weight of family judgment aren't gone. They linger in every glance, every silence, and every tentative attempt at conversation. The slow journey toward clarity and possible reconciliation is just beginning, and the emotional stakes have never been higher. After the dining table confession, life doesn't pause for Elizabeth. She puts on her public smile, shares family photos, posts Instagram stories, and interacts with friends and followers as if everything is normal. But behind the scenes, the storm hasn't settled. Every laugh is slightly forced. Every casual comment carries a shadow of doubt. You can see it in her eyes when no one's looking. Fear, grief, and the nagging question of whether the person she trusted most can truly stay. Andre, on the other hand, begins to show subtle signs of change. He doesn't make grand gestures or dramatic proclamations. Instead, it's the small things. A check-in text, a gentle touch on the shoulder, a pause to actually listen when Elizabeth speaks. These moments are almost imperceptible, but they carry weight. They are the quiet attempts of a man trying to bridge a gap he helped create, and the audience can sense the fragility of each step. This period of quiet tension is fascinating because it's not loud drama. It's the slow, almost imperceptible unraveling and then reweaving of emotional connection. Elizabeth notices, but she's cautious. She has to reconcile her heartbreak with the fact that the man she loves is trying, in his own way, to show vulnerability. And vulnerability is new territory for Andre. His cultural background, family expectations, and personal pride made emotional openness a challenge until now. At times, the tension spikes unexpectedly. A glance too long, a word slightly off, or a moment of miscommunication sends both of them back into uncertainty. The healing isn't linear. It's messy. And it's human. Every private conversation, every tentative confession brings both risk and possibility. And for viewers, it's a masterclass in watching two people navigate emotional honesty under pressure. Meanwhile, Elizabeth's world outside the private space starts to subtly shift. Friends, family, and social media followers notice a difference, even if they can't pinpoint exactly what has changed. There's an added weight in her posts, a seriousness in her tone, a subtle tension in her photos. It's a reminder that public perception is powerful, and the couple's private struggles don't exist in isolation. Every post and public interaction becomes a tightrope walk between authenticity and image. Andre, despite his own internal battles, continues to make small efforts, sometimes imperfect, sometimes awkward, but each one slowly chips away at the emotional distance. Elizabeth begins to respond, not with full trust, but with guarded openness. They're learning to communicate without immediate judgment, and the process itself becomes a kind of emotional rehearsal. You can see the shift in their dynamic. Tension is still there, but there's a new layer of understanding, a tentative bridge being built. And yet, the audience is left wondering, can these small gestures be enough to repair months of hidden emotional strain? Will the public notice the cracks before the couple is ready to handle them? Every minor step toward healing carries the weight of past misunderstandings, and the stakes are high. Viewers are left holding their breath, curious whether trust can genuinely return or if the pressure will eventually undo even the most carefully measured attempts at reconciliation. Through all of this, one thing becomes clear. The journey is as important as the outcome. Andre's honesty and vulnerability, however delayed, are the first real attempts to confront the problems they ignored for so long. Elizabeth's response, tentative but engaged, shows that emotional recovery isn't instant. It's painstaking, personal, and full of surprises. The drama isn't over. It's just entering a new, more intimate phase. And the question on everyone's mind lingers. Can they truly rebuild what almost fell apart? Once word of the tension between Andre and Elizabeth started leaking online, the fan reactions exploded. Social media feeds lit up with speculation, theories, and heated debates. Some fans immediately took sides, blaming Andre for wanting out, while others sympathized with the pressure he faces as an immigrant navigating cultural expectations and family obligations. Every post, every comment thread became a public arena where private struggles were dissected in real time. Elizabeth's followers noticed subtle changes in her stories and photos. Some picked up on the forced smiles, the quiet moments of hesitation during live streams, and they speculated relentlessly. Fans began asking questions like, "Is she okay?" Or "Did he really mean it?" The comment section became a mirror reflecting the tension, with every opinion layered with judgment, empathy, or shock. Andre's social media remained quieter, but that silence itself spoke volumes, fueling rumors about whether he was distancing himself emotionally or trying to regain control over a personal situation being broadcasted online. This online scrutiny adds another layer of pressure to their already fragile dynamic. Every post becomes a performance, every like or comment a potential judgment. Viewers watching might wonder how they're balancing authenticity with the need to maintain public image. And it's a tricky balance, because the more they try to show that things are okay, the more fans dig for cracks, and the more cracks seem to appear. And it's not just fans. Friends, family, and even producers notice subtle shifts. Conversations that once seemed ordinary now carry the weight of scrutiny. Family members weigh in, often unintentionally increasing the tension. Producers, meanwhile, are observing how the drama plays on camera, subtly steering interactions without the couple even realizing it. The private struggle that began in quiet rooms now faces an audience of thousands, maybe millions, and every interaction can fuel speculation. As viewers, we have to ask ourselves, would you stay in a marriage if everything you said or did was under a microscope? Would you blame Elizabeth for hoping he stays? Or Andre for stepping back under the weight of cultural and family expectations? These questions aren't easy, and they don't have simple answers, but they pull us deeper into the story. Even with social media buzzing, the real tension is still private, simmering under the surface. We don't know how much longer they can maintain the fade before emotions boil over again. And every small interaction could tip the balance. And as filming continues, cameras will capture moments that neither Elizabeth nor Andre might expect, teasing the next layer of conflict, family pressure, and emotional revelation. The audience is left on edge, waiting to see whether the marriage will survive scrutiny from both inside and outside their home. After days of tension and emotional silence, Andre starts to open up in small ways. A text here, a quiet conversation there, nothing dramatic, but enough to signal he's trying. Elizabeth listens, carefully, cautiously. You can almost see her weighing every word, trying to decide if she believes him, if she can trust him again. It's not a perfect recovery. It's messy, awkward, and painfully human. But for the first time in weeks, there's a glimpse of connection, however fragile. She asks questions, sometimes gentle, sometimes pointed, and Andre responds honestly, though with pauses and hesitation. It's a delicate dance. They're both aware of the past hurt and the fear of slipping back into silence. Social appearances continue, but now there's a subtle shift, a hand on the shoulder here, a quiet smile there. These small gestures matter more than anyone outside the house might realize. Every minor interaction feels loaded, as if the weight of the world is balanced on a single conversation. Fans watching the episodes online can sense the change, even if they can't see every private moment. Some speculate that the marriage is slowly mending, while others warn it's only temporary. And that's the tension. The audience wants resolution, but the reality is that reconciliation is uneven, punctuated by lingering doubts and old fears. Elizabeth's trust isn't fully restored. Andre's guilt and internal pressure are still present, and neither of them knows how the next episode will push them. And here's where it gets really interesting. Subtle hints suggest that family opinions, cultural expectations, and personal insecurities aren't going away. There's an undercurrent of tension that could explode at any time. While things appear calmer on the surface, the cameras are still rolling, capturing every glance, every pause, every unspoken word. It's a reminder that even tentative progress exists alongside fragile instability. So, the big question lingers. Can they truly rebuild what was almost lost? Or is this just a temporary pause before the next storm hits? Elizabeth and Andre are walking a tightrope, balancing honesty with caution, hope with fear. The audience is left wondering, what will happen when old wounds collide with new pressures? Next episode promises more surprises, more emotional twists, and moments that could either solidify this tentative reconciliation or push them further apart. And that's where we, as viewers, stay hooked, waiting to see which direction this marriage will take. I'm Lily from Reality Drama Files, and I want to hear what you think. Do you believe they can make it through this mess? Or is the next episode going to change everything again? Comment below and let's discuss what might happen next.